See here at Yavapai College for a presentation by Matt. And Matt is going to be giving his presentation shortly. Matt is responsible for MGM's designs, growth, strategy, and market expansion since starting the business in 1998. Matt Molinari has positioned MGM as one of the leading website development and digital agencies over 25 years. He leads a team of 7 in-house developers specializing in custom professional website development, strategic use of social media, Google business profile optimization, and SEO, short form video. In addition to his professional responsibility, Matt serves on a wide range of board of directors and advisory committees, donating his time, money, and expertise back to those in need. So now I'm going to be turning it over to Matt and let him take it away. Thank you for joining us, Matt.
Wow, thank you so much for that introduction. I sound pretty darn good. And I really appreciated mentioning some of the philanthropic roles that we are committed to. Hang with me while I get this mic flipped on. Maybe. I'm the tech guy having technical challenges. Okay. And because I was mentioning with some of the folks that are here in person that everyone in our office truly starts by the thought of serving our clients first from our heart. We want to give to others and help others. And our success is truly based on the success of our clients, because we know if we do a really fantastic job for them, they will, of course, continue working with us. And so it's just the right way that we approach things. We are very involved in the community. We give back to the community financially and even more so with our time, and absolutely serve others. So again, my name is Matt Molinari. I own MGM Design. We've been doing website development and digital marketing for 25 years. And we have a team of 7 people that fulfill all of these needs for our clients. Also, kind of, you can't see them on camera right now, but in the space here with us is Joseph and Gabby from my office, and they're helping record this and make sure all the production goes on. And I believe you guys are able to ask questions. So if you stump me, I'll rely on Joseph and Gabby to help me out, but hopefully that doesn't happen. So that's a little bit about me. We are based in Yuma, Arizona, so a few hours away from here. However, we have clients from San Diego to Phoenix, a bunch in Yuma and across the nation, and in even some cases out of the country, which was just one of those side products of, frankly, the pandemic has really kind of down those borders and allowed us to serve people in many, many different areas. Today, we're going to be talking about digital marketing with an emphasis on your Google business profile. What's great about that, one of the reasons I love giving this presentation, this is a series that we've been doing for different small business development centers. And one of the things that I love about giving this presentation is that it is, I believe, the #1 thing that you can and should be doing to market your business and grow your business. And so it's so fantastic. It's such a great way to be growing your business. And the maybe base level takeaway is that this is going to be how you get found on Google. And today, if someone does a search for your type of business, or even for your business specifically, you either show up on that first page of Google or you don't. If you do show up, you get the phone call. If you don't show up, it's essentially like you don't exist. If people have to click into page 2, page 3, page 4, page 7, you are not going to get that phone call. So that's what we're really focused on. Key takeaways, and I'm going to walk you through step by step on how you can claim, optimize, and set up your Google business profile. Just a few other background things to give some context to what we're talking about today. About a month or 2 ago, we attended virtually, which is the only way they offered it, Google's live marketing keynote for 2022. And I've got a few takeaways that were just reoccurring themes, what Google told us to share with small business owners like you of what you need to be planning for, of what's coming up. They went department by department by department and said, this is what you need to know from Google to you to small businesses. So I've got that to be summarized. 2 weeks ago, we attended the Traffic and Conversion Summits in San Diego. If you've ever heard of Comic-Con, that's in the downtown San Diego Conference Center. This is the biggest, for nerds like us, the biggest digital marketing conference. And it was 3 days, all day, all night, all digital marketing. And I'm going to share some of the tidbits and key takeaways from that. And then last Thursday, we were invited, there's only 5 of these Meta, which you guys have probably heard Meta, that's the umbrella company for Facebook and Instagram. Meta invited us to attend one of only 5 workshop sessions all day last Thursday for businesses like us. They're doing only 5 across the nation. And we were invited to attend the San Diego conference. That was put on by Meta's Meta's chief business officer. And I've got some tidbits from that I want to share with you. Amazing takeaways for all of that. So we love to learn, we love to be on the cutting edge, and we love to distill all of this knowledge down and share it with folks like you and share it with our clients to make sure that you're doing the things that you need to be doing, which this extremely fast, ever-changing environment. Can you slide us over to the next slide, please? Okay, so I kind of already, this is the summary of all the stuff I just told you, but your Google business profile, as this slide reads, is the single most significant source of organic exposure for your business online. In other words, when someone needs your products and services, they're going to take their phone out and they're going to say something like restaurants near me, plumbers near me, landscaping contractors near me, web developers near me. And the people that show up on page 1 of that result are the people that's going to get the phone call. And what they see is your Google business profile. Whether you know it or not, whether you like it or not, it's happening right now. And what we're going to cover today is how you can claim, optimize, and take control of your Google business profile so you get those phone calls. Go ahead and move us to the next slide. I gave you this brief summary right here. This is the overview categories of what you should be doing or working towards in order to have a comprehensive digital marketing campaign. So starting at the top, your professional website, the website, of course, people are going to go to your website, learn about the products and services that you offer, and that's got to convey a sense of professionalism. Yeah, I see people starting to type. This is like, get your pen out, take a screenshot of this, write these down. This is critical. This is your blueprint right here. Professional website. And if that website's mediocre or worse than mediocre, you know who you are. People are judging you by this. And if it's like, I don't know, you're not going to have that trust level. So that's incredibly important. Google business profile. I made this bigger and I highlighted it in yellow. Second most important thing, that's what we're covering today. It's that step so that people find you and then go to your website. Strategic use of social media. This is a whole nother presentation. Social media is kind of like how people are finding you. You know it. You know, people are on Facebook a lot. Instagram. The 4 biggest platforms: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. That's going to be important as we continue to talk about this stuff. People are spending a lot of time on social media, surprise, right? So you need to be doing that strategically for your business. Search engine optimization. This is like the old yellow pages. We've been talking about it already. People get their phone out, they do a search, you either show up or you don't. Paid ads. So you don't get to businesses, sorry, doing it for free. Those days are gone. You have to pay. You have to do paid ads. You have to do boosts, and paid ads are the future of how you market your business and get found and get new customers, get new sales, grow your business. And short form videos, I can't emphasize this enough. Video is the future. Video is the now. Start recording videos and getting them out there. I'll be reoccurring on this. Okay, next slide, please. So I'm going to teach you everything that you need to know to get this set up. However, you should hire us. You won't be able to keep up. This is an ongoing effort. We are here. All those things on the last slide, that's what we do. Those are the services we provide. MGM has a team of experts. We offer that accountability. This is an ever-changing landscape. We know the latest trends and strategies. We're attending those conferences. We're going to the Meta conference. We're doing all of this, and we're doing that. We do it with the highest quality. We have the time. You don't have the time. And one of my favorite phrases that I try to implement in my own business: do what you do best and hire the rest. So if you're spending all your time doing this thing that you're not really that good at, you could be spending it on your business. So I'm just framing that we do these conferences to grow our business. This is how we get clients, but it's not a dirty thing. It's because this is how we help people from our heart. This is how we help people. If we can take us to the next slide, if we're still online. Yeah, oh, there we go. Okay, so this slide right here, I've done my sales pitch, right? I've done my intro. We're getting into the nuts and bolts and the meats and potato here. So we were talking about your Google business profile. Google reports, this is straight from the that Google conference that I mentioned from a few months ago. So this is current data. Google reports local search delivers 4 billion direct connections for businesses every month. So just imagine not being found or having inaccurate information or being on page 7, what you're missing out on. This is everything. This is how people find you in business. Go ahead and the next slide then. Okay, important distinction, because many of you may have heard of Google My Business. Earlier this year, right at the beginning of the year, Google did a rebranding of this. And so now everything that used to be Google My Business is now called Google Business Profile. Why did they do this? It's simply to realign themselves so that we think of your Google Business Profile as your social media platform for your business. So just like you have a Facebook profile and a Twitter profile and a LinkedIn profile and on and on and on with all the different platforms, Google figured this out and they said, we need to reframe this as a Google Business Profile. And that distinction is going to be important, because on social media, you don't just create a social media account and then never look at it again. You're constantly adding things. We know this on Facebook, on Twitter, on any Instagram. The power in it is when you're constantly adding more and more information, new information. It's the same thing with your Google Business Profile that we're discussing today. It's not one and done. It's you build it properly, and then you have to constantly be adding information to it. That's what Google wants. And we'll explain why. Go ahead and take us to the next slide, please. Wait, what's a business profile? I kind of already gave you the little tip here. So on the slide, you can read it, business profile, the business profile knowledge panel in your search engine results page. So if you can see that on the screen right now, you can tell I did a Google search and it brought up restaurants in Prescott. And then presumably I clicked on, El Gato Azul, this intrigues me. I want to know a little bit more. So I clicked on that. I did not go to El Gato Azul's website. Google delivered a knowledge panel on the right-hand side of the screen that we're looking at right now, with photos, with a name, reviews, link to a phone number, link to a website, content that's being posted, hopefully. All the information that Google aggregates and maintains about your business is the first thing that people see. So that's the business profile. That's what we're talking about today. It's the first thing. It's what's standing in between someone looking for your products and services, your business, and your website. In between that, Google is showing them your Google Business Profile. We call it the GBP, because I say Google Business Profile so many times every day. It's like your GBP. This is it. That's it right there that you see on the screen. Go ahead and take us to the next one, please. Google Business Profile appears throughout the Google ecosystem and aggregates everything Google knows about your business. It sounds fancy, right? The Google ecosystem. What does that mean? One more slide, please. So the Google, I mean, when Google started, it was literally a search engine. You did a search, you got a list of websites, you went to the website, that was it. Now Google has evolved into almost every aspect of our lives and our businesses. So examples that you are certainly familiar with would be like Google Maps. You're showing up there, your business, or hopefully should be showing up there. The Google search, that's the obvious one that we just talked about. Google has things to do. There's Google Hotels. There's Google Flights. There's Google, there's many, many, many things that Google is kind of dip their hands in and offers you that data and that information, and your business profile will show up in all of those different systems throughout the ecosystem of Google. So go ahead and on the next one, please. Okay, I've said this 3 or 4 times now because it's so important. This is the mobile version that we're seeing on this screenshot. Again, El Gato Azul. Your Google business profile is the very first thing people see about your business when they do that search. So it's just critically important that you own this information, correct this information, update this information, and follow the things that Google wants you to do in order for it to be optimized and raise you up to the top of those search results. Next one, great, thank you. Okay, so a little bit more stats and data just to make sure that you guys are seeing the value in this and that you're willing to take some action. So up-to-date Google profiles are 2.7 times more likely to be considered reputable. Imagine the value in that. Well, that's the value in that. If just having that up to date, people trust you nearly 3 times more than potentially your competition or other businesses. Again, this is all data coming right from that Google Marketing Conference. Please go back one to that last one. 70% more likely to attract location visits. I didn't want to just skip past this because this is it. This is the information. This is the motivation for you guys to take action on this. 70% more likely to get someone to come to my business. Yeah, I'm going to dedicate some time to making sure that happens. 50% more likely to lead to a purchase. That's worth it. It's worth it. Okay, now you can go on to that next one. Okay, quick little terminology here. We've all seen this. You do a search, and if it has anything location-based, like near me or in Prescott, or whatever that search may be that's location-based, then what you see is a map on one side with a bunch of pin drops and search results over on the left-hand side, or it might all be stacked if you're on your phone. And that's referred to as the local pack. And that's the local pack of Google business profiles. So you can see there's those listings on the left-hand side. My notes kind of cover it up, but over on the right-hand side is the map with all the little pin drops. And go ahead to the next slide. Local pack ranking. So these little colorful squiggly lines show how people are using Google, and you could think of it as how your customers are using Google to find you. Like, is it an organic search? Is it pay-per-click? Is it via the maps? Is it this? Is it that? They're kind of listed down the side. They're really small. But the important thing to note is that orange line that's going up with a 36% increase. That's the Google business profile. Meaning people are doing searches, they're seeing your Google business profile, they're clicking it, and then they're going to your website at that 36% increase. The reason is because Google is putting all this emphasis onto it. They're delivering that content across their entire ecosystem. But it just shows that's why doing this is the most important thing you can do for your business. Awesome.
They reject it and say the products are illegal when they are in fact legal in my state.
Yes, this is something we have had exact direct challenges with. Gabby, who's a little bit off camera, was in charge of that client. There was a CBD client, and everything we did got classified as an illegal drug. And we did come up with some specific techniques for that. I think it would be if that person could put their email address or their phone number or a way for us to contact you, I'd be happy to have you and Gabby connect so that we're not taking everybody's time on a specific niche business like that. Totally feel your pain. Like that was a serious challenge, but there are some tricks to it. And we do have some experience with that of what you can say. It comes down to a word, saying this word, but talking around it. We have another client that is an incredibly reputable, legit gun store owner. And I see someone in the audience is like, that's me, that's me. And we like, how many creative ways can we come up to say we sell guns without saying we sell guns? And it's kind of like along those same lines. But to give you specific feedback on that, let me connect you and Gabby after our session today and be happy to share some of our tips on that. Great question. Okay, we got the contact info there. Thank you. Okay, so we talked about, again, the importance of really like seeing those numbers and the trajectory of that business profile. Go ahead and slide us over to that next one. So typically people ask on that previous slide, oh, okay, great. How do I get to be on page 1? So I love the CBD question, but this is the typical question that leads to this next slide, because I always catch myself saying, great question, next slide, and here's the answer. So how do you get to be higher in that ranking? How do you get your Google business profile on that page 1? And there's 3 factors, as you can see by this little simple diagram. 1, we can't control, it's distance. If I'm on one side of town and I say coffee shops near me, part of the weight of how Google decides who to put towards the top of those results is distance. So a coffee shop way on the other side of town isn't going to have as good of a chance to come up on page 1. But we can't control that, but it's a factor. Number 2 is relevance. So Google can analyze the data that's in your Google business profile and decide how relevant your data is to that search. So do you mention coffee a little bit, to use our example, or is all of your content dedicated to coffee and coffee shops? So that's relevance. And then the third one is prominence. This really comes down to what you can control. Relevance as well to a certain extent, but that's kind of obvious. You're gonna make sure that that information is accurate and describes your business well. Prominence is all these other things that you can do or that we do for our clients that Google's expecting. How complete and up to date is that profile? We're going to get into all these details, but like making sure your hours of operation are correct, making sure your phone number and address are correct, making sure that the details about your business, do you have handicap parking? Do you have off-street parking? Do you have, whatever it might be, an outdoor patio? Like there's all these attributes that you can add. So that all the extra information that you're constantly updating in your business profile. Okay, so how to do it? Do we have a question? Yes. It's not a direct correlation to that on a bicycle search, although there is a way to do that we'll cover, and I'll use that as an example. But it's more like you've taken the time to go in and say, yes, I've got handicap parking, I've got covered this, I've got bicycle racks, I've got this, I've got that. Google looks at that and says, oh, wow, this business profile has been fully propagated with all the information. This is going to be very useful to someone doing a search. So we're going to make that one higher in the rankings because people are going to get that business profile and be like, wow, this is exactly what I was looking for, versus a business profile that's never been updated, hasn't been claimed, doesn't have any attributes on it, isn't going to be as useful. So Google's like, oh, nope, lower on the list. It's just not as good of data to return. And Google wants to deliver amazing data so that everybody uses Google for the rest of our lives forever. That's what it matters to Google, is they want everyone to keep using it. So they reward us businesses for filling out all the information the way they want us to do it with a higher ranking. So how do you get it? Step 1, you need a Google account. Gmail is fine. It would be ideal to have a Gmail account for your business. So gatoazul@gmail.com would be perfect. If it's your name at Gmail, it'll work, but better for it to be your business name. You need a Google account, and a free Gmail account is great. So you need to sign into Google. You probably already have one. You could easily go on and create a free one, but you need that. So this is the sign in. So you have to sign into the business Google account. Any Google email account will do just fine. Or if you have a Google Workspace account, which is the professional version, that's even better. So go ahead and go on to our next step, which is just signing in. Step 2, find your Google business profile. And it's simple as doing a search. You'll find it eventually. If you put in your business name, that sure as heck better deliver your business profile. If not, perhaps you're a brand new business that never existed prior to this moment, then Google may not know that you exist. And then there's a process where you can add a new business to their database. But more likely than not, you already have a business profile, it's out there, and you need to go through the process of claiming it. So you're going to put in your business profile. On this little tip, it says on Google Maps will ensure that it brings up your Google business profile with the map result over on the side. And when you do a search in Google, across the top, when you see the results, normally it says web, and then you can choose images, videos, map is one of those options. So you just put in your business name and then click map, and that will get you to this same interface. Go ahead and take us to the step 3. So look for the claim this business on your business profile and click on it to begin the claiming process. So over on the right-hand side, you can see I kind of zoomed in on a Google business profile, and there's the address and the website address and the phone number and so on. And then you'll see that little badge, and next to it, claim this business. So that's going to be what you want to click in order to take ownership of your Google business profile. And if you guys have already claimed your business profile, that's okay. The next part of our slide deck is going to get into what to do with it once you've claimed it. But we have a couple more steps for the people that have not claimed it yet. Go ahead to the next slide. So the manage now, this will begin the process of claiming your listing on Google business profile. So there's a button right there that says manage now, and you'll click that, and to the next slide. And this is the key, is the verification process. You might get options. So step 5 is the verification. We have to prove to Google that you own this, or else you could go in and just start editing anybody's information. So this is what we're doing. And the most common are 2 different ways of claiming a business ownership, a Google business profile ownership. And in this one, it looks like the first one that we have up here is, I think that was the phone number search. And so, okay, so that one's the phone. The other one must be the address. So the 2 most typical are either claiming by a phone number, which is the best, because what will happen is it'll say call now. And as long as the Google's version of your Google business profile has an accurate phone number, it will immediately trigger an automated phone call. And it will, like a computer system, will give you a 5 or 6 digit code that you type in, and done. You got it. You're in. You own your business profile now. If the phone number isn't in the system, or if the phone number is wrong, which we've had plenty of clients a little side story here. We've had clients do this. Literally, the phone number on their Google business profile was for their competition. One was a pool company. Oh, hey, we'd like to get a new pool installed in our backyard, $30,000 or whatever it might be. And the person answering the phone says, oh, great. Excellent. We'd love to meet with you. Yeah. Come on by, or can we come by your house? And everything was going great, except the person thought they were calling one company, they were calling their competition. Scary. And the other was a restaurant. And that was a little more obvious because they answered the phone. It was the wrong restaurant. But still, how much business did they lose? So the information being inaccurate happens. So if your phone number is wrong or it's not in there, the other choice was the last slide. We don't need to go back, but it's a postcard. And they will send you a postcard, literally, like, remember postal mail? They'll send it in the mail to your location. It takes like a week. So you're waiting, you're so anxious to do all this great stuff. You're waiting. It comes in the mail. You get that 6-digit code, you type it in, and then you're verified. And then you can start updating your Google business profile. It cannot be a PO box. Question. Yeah. So the question was that they couldn't get verified and called, and there was like a fee. Most likely it was someone that was looking to help you get verified. Google does not charge for this process. There is no fee for it. But plenty of people, you can pay us, there's plenty of people that will help you, guide you through that process. But it's kind of like the pool story. If someone was claiming to be Google and trying to charge you like that, red flag for sure. And this stuff is complicated. And anytime something that's technology and complicated, people try to take advantage of people. So I'm not surprised, and I've heard that plenty of times before. So yeah, just one other note on this, you cannot send that postcard to a PO box. Google wants this going, they want to make sure you're a real business. Anybody can go get a PO box and say, hey, look at me, I'm MGM Design, I'm a web developer. And so they want to make sure that that's a real address. Another question. Residential address works. A lot of people will start businesses out of their home. But then of course, the next question is, hey, I don't want people coming knocking on my door Sunday morning saying, hey, I need help with a website, right? And so there's a way around that, which is you complete the verification process, you get control of your Google business profile, and then you can change that to what's called a service area. And you can literally draw a box, or you put in zip codes, or you say this county, this county, this county that you do business in. And that way the public, your home address is hidden from public view, but it still shows that service area, and then you will show up in those relevant searches based on proximity and distance. Excellent question. Another question. Absolutely. Yeah. Yep. Because most of us do business with, with people in a wide range of area, so that it makes sense. We've seen a few other verifications, live video. We've had the client have that be an option where you can like literally pick up your phone and do like a video chat. And it's like, oh, yep, I'll take you outside. There's my sign. Like, here's my building. Here's my office. And I've seen that as an option. But the two most popular are phone and postcard. So go ahead and take us to that next. Yeah, success. We're verified. Now we're ready to update and manage our Google business profile. So hopefully that first section was helpful. If you have not yet claimed your Google business profile, those are the steps. One click at a time. You saw my screenshots every step of the way. Now, if you have that access, or once you get it, we're going to get into the tips of what Google wants you to be doing to really optimize that so you show up higher and higher in these results. So please go ahead and take us to the next slide. I mentioned this earlier. Business hours are critical. I'll read this because it's so important. This is another, like, if you're taking notes, this is the time to get your pen out and write this down, or do a screenshot. Update my business hours all regularly in my Google business profile. Hours are critical. Searches for open now have skyrocketed in the last 2 years. 300% increase in searches for open now, 200% increase in searches for open near me. This is the data of what people say when they get out their phone and they do a search with their voice, or maybe they type it in. Coffee shops near me, restaurants near me, 300% increase. And people, they want to know if it's open or not. And going back to what Google wants, all of us thinking of Google as our only place to go for this kind of information, it has to be accurate. So what does Google do? Okay, so here's the scenario. You do the search. I want to go to lunch. Okay, they're open until 2 o'clock. We drive across town, we go to lunch, we get there at 1:30, closed. Now I have lost faith in Google It gave me bad information. Maybe I'll hesitate next time I do a Google search and trust that information. Number two, I'm upset at the restaurant. I drove all the way across town for lunch, and now I've got to come up with like a plan B. So it's like a lose-lose. So it sounds superficial. Update your hours. Why is Matt taking so much time to like focus on this and share this with you? Because it's that important. It's important to you, but it's important to Google, which means it's important to you. And we've seen this, we've gone through several holidays lately. Google sends you alerts. Are you open on Labor Day? Are you going to be open on Thanksgiving? Are you closing early? When you go in there and you do that, Google loves it. Oh, I'm going to close early for this holiday. I'm going to close early for this reason, one reason or another. That tells Google, oh man, if they're updating it, that means it's accurate. If it's accurate, we're showing you more. Go ahead and take us to the next slide. Categories matter. Adding relevant categories can significantly expand where a business shows up because it matches more searches. So any business, okay, so maybe we'll stick with the restaurant, and then I'll do web development because I know about that a lot. So a restaurant's a restaurant. Well, maybe they're also a seafood restaurant. Maybe they're also a taco shop. Maybe they're a bar and a restaurant. So you are typically going to have multiple categories for any business. Take us to the next slide, please. There are over 4,000 categories to choose from. So most likely there's going to be quite a few categories that you can fit in. And you don't always know what your potential customer isn't going to always search for the most obvious thing. So by saying website design and graphic design and digital marketing and social media and so on, someone might search for a social media manager, but someone might search for a website developer. We do both. And so you want to be in those multiple categories. This list constantly changes. We don't have to go back, that's fine. But so you can be checking that on a regular basis and updating it. This is another one that I can't emphasize this enough. The photos. We are those people, right? We are all those customers. You saw it when that thing came up. My screenshot of Gato Azul. Your eye immediately gets drawn to those photos, that crisp blue sky. Look at these that are on the example. Look at that glass of champagne, that resort with the blue sky. You know, the umbrellas, the pool with someone enjoying their weekend away. All of these things, we are visual people. We are a visual society. The photos will draw people in, or photos will turn people away. So Google knows this. They want you to be adding photos. The minimum is 4 per month or 1 per week. And you can't cheat this. You can't be like, oh yeah, here we go. I am gonna select an album full of photos and dump them all on there one time and I'm good to go. Google knows better. They want this to be real. They want to see some new photos this week. Oh, here we did this event last week. Here's this next thing that we're doing. And it's got to be 1 or 2 every week. This comes back to what we do for our clients. It's a big commitment. It's not hard, but it's critical that you do it. Go to the next slide, please. So why? Okay, Matt's just talking about it. So here's the data. Uploading photos. Businesses with more than 100 images have significantly high exposure rates. So that little graph, that little chart, it's kind of hard to read what all is there. It's the different data, the different parts of your Google business profile. The one on the far right, of course, is photos. 291% higher exposure if you add 1 or 2 or 3 photos every week, and you do that consistently to get over 100 images. It's a nearly 300% higher exposure rate, meaning Google shows you. They show your business profile. So that's why that is so important. But take a step back, we all do it. Like we get it. Like you first thing you do is go, oh, let me see the pictures. What's the parking lot look like? Swipe. What's the inside look like? Swipe. Oh, a picture of that hamburger. Awesome. And that's the experience we want to see. And if we see the parking lot and we see the inside and we see the patio and we see the food and we see some people having a good time, we're going to probably go. If those images aren't there, or they're mediocre images, or it's shadowy and grainy and out of focus, we literally are likely to not go. So go ahead and take us to that next one. More on photos. Add 4 to 5 photos per month for a 10 to 30% lift in exposure for your business. And we already talked about that same one with once you get over 100 images, that number just goes up and up and up for the reason we just described. It's human. It's our natural inclination to see what it's going to be like before we go. Reviews. Oh man, I've had some tough conversations with clients. I mean, sometimes I think businesses, they just don't want to acknowledge it. They're like, I know those reviews are out there. I don't want to look. And I am a business owner. I can feel your pain. We have to just rip off the Band-Aid and take ownership of this. And even if you have bad reviews, that can still be an okay thing. Showing, not everybody's perfect all day, every day, and not every customer is a perfect angel. There's going to be complaints. And people, we get that as customers, as consumers. But the business that goes in and says, I am so sorry you had a bad experience, I'm the owner. What can we do to correct this problem? How can we address this? Or they do address it in some way, shows that you are a business that is responsive, and it shows that you care. And you can even turn that negative into a positive, even if that person never goes back and makes it a 5-star, or they don't delete it ever. It almost makes it more real. You're gonna have somebody that has a bad experience or thinks they did. And again, another side note, we've seen it where people leave reviews and it was the wrong business. They thought they were leaving a review on where they went to lunch. It wasn't. And there's a process that you can go through if you're aware of it to challenge that, and this Google support will remove it. So you've got to take ownership of it. And I see there's a question kind of covering our screen right now, which I'm happy to answer.
That work okay? And somebody else is saying they have a gift retail shop. So same sort of questions back to the photo.
Yes, and yes. If it's real, we love it, so Google loves it. It's not about staging with perfect lighting and the perfect outfit and perfect. It's not about perfection. It's about reality. It's about timeliness. It's about what's happening right now. So yeah, if you're having a team meeting, if we're having a team meeting talking about how we're going to strategize what we learned at that workshop last week, that's awesome. That's a great photo with a little caption to put on there. So it sounds like that's kind of what, it doesn't have to be just food for a restaurant or just a cup of coffee for a coffee shop. Another question. Yeah. Oh, this water bottle. It's the best water bottle ever, right? People I think can see through that. It's okay to have some of that, but the real stuff and having a mix is great. And so this chart right here, again, it's a little hard to see all the details of the chart, but you see the trend. And that's the trend of businesses who are responsive to reviews, good or bad. So respond to 30% of your reviews for an 80% boost in conversions. Conversions meaning people take some sort of action on your Google business profile. Click the call button, click go to my website. They do something. That's a conversion. So yeah, just to summarize that one last time, I think we covered it. It shows that you're attentive, and reviews, like taking control of those reviews, is just so important. Okay, now we can go on to this next one. So this is a screen capture. We're going to do a couple of screen captures from the Google Marketing Live Keynote 2022 that I talked about. It was this spring. It's where they went Google department by Google department by Google department, and then each department head gave their little summary of what they're doing and where they're going as it's relevant to small businesses. And this was all virtually presented, and it was all day long. And I tried to compress it down to give you just the most important tidbits. So that you take me back to that last one, and I'll just read that really quick. Browsing has blended with shopping. This came up is at some level or another a result of the pandemic, but browsing has blended with shopping. In summary, people are looking online before they even come to your retail shop. And in the future, this is going to happen within your retail shop. And at the most superficial level that you guys can probably go, oh yeah, that kind of makes sense. How often has someone come into your business, gotten their phone out, and maybe Googled for a product review of something they're thinking about buying, browsing, blending with shopping? Or I know I have people that come in and they get their phone out and they say, see, look at that. What about that when it comes to my website? And they're using technology while we're doing a face-to-face consultation or interaction. So go ahead and take us to the next one. 2/3 of US shoppers say they first started their shopping experience online. Makes sense. You're going to do some kind of a Google search. You're going to do a research. You're going to look at reviews. You're going to look at photos, all the stuff we've been talking about. Maybe it's how to get to your location. But at the very beginning of this presentation, I kind of broke it down for you: websites, Google Business Profile, SEO, social media, short-term videos, that kind of thing. The reason that digital marketing is so important, and there's a phrase that these guys in my office have heard me say a gazillion times, and it goes, I'm not saying that TV commercials, print ads, radio, and billboards are dead, but digital marketing is the primary focus, largely because of this. Your phone, your tablet, your computers, your streaming devices, people aren't going home and watching TV like they did 10 years ago. People are on social media. People are on their digital devices. 2/3 of all shoppers started with shopping online. Go ahead and go to the next one. This slide, it's a little vague. Two purchases. This slide was in reference to last year's Christmas shopping season, which is now more relevant than ever. This was in the spring. Now we're, like it or not, we're entering Christmas shopping season, holiday shopping season, and that's where our minds. Side note, that's where our minds need to be. What are we going to do for Black Friday? Us little small businesses, not Amazon. What are we going to do for Black Friday? What are we going to do for the holidays? And I know I used to have a mindset that said, oh, my clients go on vacation in December. I've shifted that mindset. December is a month of spending. We as a society spend money in December. So what marketing are you going to do now to be ready for that? So anyway, back to this slide, side note over. 2 times more purchases. They were doing something called, they were discussing something called Omni search. And I've heard that numbers go from 17 to whatever. In this case, what this woman was talking about is if people have seen you in 5 different instances, they are 2 times more likely to, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. If people have seen you in 5 different instances, they are statistically going to spend twice as much. Omni search. So it's 2 times more purchases. So if they saw you post something on Facebook, they saw you do a little short time video, they saw an ad on Facebook, maybe a retargeting ad. Maybe they saw you on TV or radio or print or billboard. It could be number 4. And then maybe there was one other like marketing touch, that omnipresence, that omni search. If you hit 5, you statistically speaking, you will sell twice as much. Go ahead and to the next slide. So I thought that was an interesting takeaway. Okay, so here we're going to talk a little bit about video. Video is critical. Video is the theme that we hear at Meta, at the Traffic and Conversion Summit. Every single Google department head, everything we do in our learning as digital marketing experts, video, video, video. Why? Because we're not going home and watching TV, we're going home and looking at our phone. And it's not just pictures, it's video. That's what our society wants. That's the content that people are craving. So this guy that you see on this slide right here works for Google, one of the inventors of YouTube. He uploaded video number 1 to YouTube, which is kind of cool. So he gave a whole presentation, but I thought this slide and this moment in his presentation was helpful to just drill this home, because we're all like, oh, I don't want to take a video of myself and post it. I don't know how to do it, all of this and that. Figure it out or hire someone that will. Viewers are watching over 700 million hours of YouTube content on TV daily. You got to be putting videos on YouTube and TikTok. I know that probably hurts your ears a little bit, but the top four, I mentioned this at the beginning, the top four social media platforms, Facebook, and the order of this is up for debate. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Some studies put TikTok as number 2 after Facebook. Video. Go ahead into the next one. Okay, so it's a little bit small on this slide. 30, so this is YouTube Shorts. We call this short form video, the 30-second reels, 15 seconds, 60-second reels. You know, the ones that even on Facebook we get sucked into across the top, where you're like, oh, and it just flows to the next one and flows to the next one and flow. Why do they do that? Because that's us as a society. We will like, whoa, 15 minutes went by. Like, what happened? We need to be, as business owners, we need to be seen. We need to be, our content needs to be showing up there. So why? Because 30 billion average daily views of YouTube Shorts. That's just YouTube. That's not Facebook. That doesn't include TikTok. Every day, 30 billion. I'm not Mr. like, I wasn't built for video, but I'm doing it because we have to, or we just aren't seen, and your competition is. Go ahead to the next slide. All right, so a little bit of a summary. We're kind of how we're doing on time. We are right on time. So some of the things that we've covered here, the Google Business Profile fundamentals. We went over how to claim and verify your Google Business Profile. If you haven't done that yet, that's what you should do for today. It shouldn't take that long. It won't take the rest of your day. Do this. Do not wait. Number 2 is hours are critical. And again, this is the screenshot moment. If you're a pen and paper type of person, jot these things down. These are the biggest takeaways. This is everything that we talked about in summary. Make sure your hours are up to date and make sure you're in there on a regular basis, updating those hours, putting in your holiday hours, putting in anything like that. And even if it seems obvious to you, yeah, I'm going to be open. You can say that you're going to be open on that holiday or closed, and it tells Google that you're updating it and that it's accurate. Categories matter for relevance. So that's that 4,000 plus categories. Google's always adding more, always adding more. So you need to be going in there and making sure they're accurate and adding new ones that match what you offer and what you do. Attributes support customer confidence. This was the bike rack that John mentioned. This was the parking. This was the free parking might be something. Off-street parking might be something. You have an outdoor patio. You have restrooms, or you don't have restrooms, or like all the different things. And it's all there for you. You just click the check boxes next to all the ones that match up. But doing that matters. It builds customer confidence. Building customer confidence makes Google happy. That makes you higher in the list. And then photos. 4 photos a month, increase exposure, minimum. And not just grab 4, dump them on there, say goodbye. It's like be doing this on a regular basis. So it averages a minimum of 4 per month to satisfy what Google's looking for. Was there another question that came in before we?
If I don't have website section of my Google business.
I believe you can. I believe you can do that. I hear this a lot, not specifically to your Google Business Profile, but I'm a website developer, and people will be like, oh, website, it's facebook.com/mgmdesign. I'm like, oh, okay, well, you don't have a website. Facebook has a page dedicated to you. oh, well, that's cool. I mean, I show up in Google and all my photos and everything are there. And I'm like, Facebook owns all that information about you. Well, who cares? I'm sure. Well, what if Facebook changes? What if they go out of business? What if they start charging for that? What if? You need to own your content, and don't underestimate those words I just said. You need to own your content. And when you own your website and it's your website, you have control of that. You own that data, and you can control what that experience and that customer experience is like. So I believe you can put your Facebook page in there, but get a website built, build one yourself, do something basic, hire someone to do it. However you go about, call us. We'll come up with, if it's a price issue, we'll come up with something that you can afford one way or another, or take the time and you can do it yourself. But get your own website, and that will. I mean, gosh. Just the thought that you're a business owner and someone you're going to talk about your business when you're networking or at the chamber event or whatever it is. I mean, people are going to say, well, what's your website? It's just a natural thing that we do in conversation. I don't have one yet. Oh, that tells a message about the legitimacy of your business. And so it's costing you more than you might realize the price of that website is. So I would just really, really encourage that to make that a priority. Another question?
Small businesses are just, they got this, that, the other.
Yeah.
So if you're coaching me saying, here's how much time you should spend on this per week. Half an hour every Tuesday over coffee, 45 minutes every Friday over beer. How would you coach a small business? Say, you need to discipline this into your routine. What's a good coaching mechanism for that?
So I like 30 minutes a week is fine to just say, if you're going to set aside time. And so the question is, how do you work this into your routine? And there's two answers. The first is, I think 30 minutes is plenty every week to go in, analyze your Google business profile, make sure all the information's up to date. It's just crazy how your life and your business shifts. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, wow, I never said that we stay open late on Wednesdays for one reason or another, or we don't come in until this time on one day a week. And so getting in there and managing that is it's just really important to do. But it's, I think, 30 minutes. But the other half of that is getting into the habit where doing this just becomes part of your daily operation, your routine, where it's not a scheduled time. But when Gabby and Joseph and I pulled up here to the Yavapai College Prescott campus, and there's a gorgeous roundabout with landscaping and a sign, I pulled over and I said, hey guys, jump out real fast. Put the camera on self timer, snapped a photo. It took 15 seconds to do the whole thing. We're back in the car. But now that photo is uploaded, it's posted on social media, and hey, here we are doing a presentation. Da, 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 da. It's part of just our day-to-day thing. And that's the real content. That's the real content that Google wants to be seeing, because that's what customers want to be seeing. Yeah, I think once a week is fine. A lot of that stuff gets pushed to you. So when someone leaves a review, you should be getting notifications on that. But I get it. We're all busy. Yep. We specialize in custom, and when I say custom, I mean the things that most other people can't do. But of course we do WordPress. Of course we do Shopify. I mean, there are certain solutions that are tailor-made for specific businesses, and those websites are to rebuild everything that Shopify has invested for a one-off gets really expensive. Versus you can implement a Shopify very affordably, pay a monthly fee, and they spread that initial investment across thousands of businesses. So yeah, we can use, there are some platforms that are like kind of a step, like, so they're so basic, like Wix or Google Business, Google Sites or GoDaddy Site Builder. It's harder for us to use something that isn't standard, but we can use pretty much any platform. Okay, so I see we're at 11:59. So my last final minute, we'll buzz through 3 quick slides. This one, go back one, please, to what would an internet presentation be without a kitten? You're awesome. Thank you so much for your time, and thanks for hanging with me. Yep, got to have a little kitten profile, a little kitten picture. Here's the MGM team. Hire the MGM team of experts. These are all our in-house developers. We would love to help you. You're welcome. I can read that from back here. And maybe one more slide. It might be my last call to action. Oh yeah, okay. If anybody would like to hire us, there's normally a onboarding fee that's $1,500 to get you set up with all those things that we talked about at the beginning. If you mention that you were here or joined us virtually today, or maybe through the weekend, we'll knock $1,000 off of that, and we'll do the onboarding for $500. So I'd be, it would be terrible to miss that opportunity to work with you. And I'm trying to give a little financial incentive, but yeah, that's pretty much the end. So it's 12 o'clock on the dot.